What's up, guys? Fat Dad here. And in a world of constant drama and trolls and relentless commenting from behind a keyboard because people have nothing else better to do, we go to the movies to escape all of that, only to see a movie surrounded by trolls and drama and people who have even tried to tank the movie to get the movie reviews down so people won't go to see it. All because Brie Larson made a comment in one of her interviews that she noticed that the movie reviewers and the people doing her press interviews were predominantly white male, and she wanted to bring awareness to get underrepresented people to come in and do movie reviews. And all of that has set off a firestorm because people care way too much. Just shut up and go enjoy the movie for once. You know you're going to. The numbers are already showing it. It's making millions. Anyway, rant over. Captain Marvel. I liked it. I think it was an 8 out of 10 for me. It's not the best Marvel movie I've ever seen, but it's a good standalone movie. It's a good origin story movie. She did great in the role. Brie Larson did. She kicked butt. She took names. She acted well doing it. All of the characters worked well together. It has heart. It has humor. It has effects, explosions, space, superhero, all the ingredients of a good movie. Brie Larson, she did very well, like I said, in the role. Her and Samuel L. Jackson worked well together. All of the cast around them worked well with each other. She was good. She was funny. I liked her in the role. I right offhand can't think of anybody else who could have done better. Samuel L. Jackson was hilarious. He was funny, of course. He has a lot of one-liners in the movie. You learn some things about him since it's in the past, like when S.H.I.E.L.D. was first starting and stuff like that. There's a lot of things that you can pick up from the movie if you followed the universe for this long. He worked really well with Brie Larson. Their chemistry was great. They bounced really well off of each other, and that was one of the highlights of the movie for me. But the MVP of the movie to me was Ben Mendelsohn, and if you don't know who that is, he played the bad guy in Ready Player One and the bad guy in the newest Robin Hood movie, and I'm sure he's done way more movies than that, but those are the ones that I came off with off the top of my head. But his acting in this movie and what he had to act through, and when you see his character, you know what I mean. To me, he was the best part of the movie. I loved his character, and I loved his acting in this movie. So that was the biggest highlight for me. Was Ben Mendelsohn. Jude Law, he was just there. He didn't help the movie. He didn't hurt the movie. In my opinion, he was just a gap filler used in the time of the movie to get you from point A to point awesome. And that's just my opinion. I know there's a lot of Jude Law lovers out there, but to me, like I said, he's a gap filler in this movie. Not that he was terrible, but he just wasn't great. It didn't stand out as a great role to me. But the supporting cast in this movie was amazing. The friend of Carol Danvers back on Earth, and the little girl of her friend, like all of the whole scenes when they're all together, those are great. That's where you get a lot of your emotion and your heart and a lot of your humor too. So also, this movie is set in the 90s, which I'm sure everybody now knows that. And it's a whole theme throughout the movies. Of course, in the trailer, you see her crashing into a blockbuster. I mean, there's all sorts of 90s-ish throwback stuff that comes into this movie, and that's also where a lot of the humor comes from. And they tag it in there every now and again, and you're just, if you're a 90s kid like I am, or if you're before that, you'll get some good laughs out of there, and then you'll watch all the other people who are too young to get it. That was kind of funny too. Also, I can't forget to throw out Coulson is in this movie, Clark Gregg, and it's always great to see him because, of course, he's a huge part of the Marvel Universe and always will be. So it was good to see him back. He doesn't have a very big role, but it's enough to where you're like, yeah, of course, Coulson, you're a man. This movie has a lot of tie-ins to the Marvel Universe as we know it. To me, it's a little over the top how they fit it all in there, and how they try to say, oh, this is where this happened, this is where that happened, this is why this is that way. Like, to me, some things are just better left unsaid. Like, leave that feeling of, man, I never really know the story of that. And I realize that everybody wants to have everything explained, but some things are just better left unexplained. There's a lot of stuff in here that's like, oh, that's pretty awesome. But to literally, it's almost like some of the complaints that people had with Solo, where every single thing from the old movies had to be explained, like, oh, he had this because of this and he had that because of that. That's the kind of stuff that goes on in this movie to tie everything together, but I understand why they're doing it because of Endgame and the Endgame all coming together. It's definitely something that's in this movie. You're going to get a little bit of build up into what the final process is going to be like. You're going to see things that will set up Endgame. So, I mean, that's pretty cool, obviously, because it leaves you chomping at the bit, wanting to know what's going to happen. But a lot of the tie-ins are just like, I mean, come on, really. And you'll know what I'm talking about when you see it. If you're a real true fan to the series, you're gonna be like, come on, that's a little bit cheesy. But yeah, so there's a lot of stuff like that in there, a lot of tie-ins. It's not just, I mean, it's a standalone movie, but it's not like has nothing else to do with everything else. Everything, as we've all seen, is all connected. So yeah, and of course, like always, watch the end credit scenes. To me, one of the end credit scenes is very short, but probably one of my favorite end credit scenes, and you'll know why. This movie starts out slow. The whole first part, like building up, is kind of slow. I mean, some of the action sequences in that first part are pretty good, but it's a slow build up. But once the build up gets there, it is really good. It wasn't enough to make me like want to leave or anything like that. Like, the story part is very good, and after the build up, it becomes really good. So 8 out of 10. That's high praise from me, because I'm really picky with my movies. But I thought it was, all in all, it was a good movie. I would definitely see it again. I'm definitely going to buy it when it comes out. Always Steelbook, Best Buy. Check that out. But yeah, good family movie, good summer movie. I hope it kills in the box office. So all of these trolls that try to tank it, sitting in their mom's basement on the keyboards with nothing else better to do, I hope it just like burns their butt that they couldn't do anything about it. So yeah, go out there, support this movie, see it again, make it millions of dollars. I know you're going to. You're already doing it. But this is my short little review. If you like it, leave me a comment. If you don't like my comments, leave me a comment. I'm open to anything. And again, thank you guys for watching my videos. I've posted like 10 or so videos now, and you guys have been giving me some good views. So if you have any suggestions on how to make them better so I can get more views, let me know. So, Fat Dad out.